Good morning, Warriors.
Good morning.
It is the 9th of July, 2024, 11:30. Call this meeting to order. Please, everybody rise for the pledge of allegiance. Raise the flag. Let's cover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Please remain seated for morning prayer.
On cover, please. Heavenly Father, we humbly beseech Thee, bless these who are present and assembled. We pray for your guidance in our deliverance, that we may exemplify the principles and the purposes of our tasks. There's so much to be done that we pray your blessings. Be our silent, watchful guardian, like the breeze through the trees, like the sun through the sky. We ask your protection and guidance. Bless us as we present and assist us in the counsel that make our sacred mission to honor those who selflessly gave without hesitation. In God we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Marshall, can we have roll call?
Yes, sir. American Legion Post 59.
Present.
Black Widows, Maxine. Catholic War Veterans.
Present.
Mr. Segovia. Disabled American Veterans. Mr. Contreras, next. Korean War Veterans, Mr. Sanchez.
Present.
LULAC Veterans 777.
Present.
Marine Corps League, Mr. Alvarez.
Present, sir.
South Texas, Afghanistan, and Iraqi Veterans. Is he online, partner? Mr. Lopez? No, sir. Texas Military Department, Soldiers and Family Readiness.
Present.
Texas Veterans Commission.
They have a new employee, we'll update them.
Okay, what's his name? Or her
Mr.
name?
Hernandez, Sergio?
Oh. VA Laredo Outpatient Clinic, Ms. Cavido. Valor. He's not present. Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Present.
Mr. Rivas. Webb County Service Office,
Present.
Mr. Garza. Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. We entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the May 14th, 2024 meeting as presented. Have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. The motion passes. Next item on the agenda, we have citizens' comments. Do we have anybody that signed up, Marshall?
No, sir, but if we could take anyone if they have any comments.
If anybody would wish to address this committee, you can do so at this time.
Okay,
Monday.
just want to announce something.
Sure, go ahead. Just for the record, please.
Jesus Segovia, for the record. I just want to announce that I didn't put it on the agenda, but they're working right now at the Veterans Park, Veterans Plaza. They're setting up, in case somebody wants to know what they're building, it's going to be bathrooms for ladies and men, 2 stalls for each one with, private doors. And they will be open during events, only during events, so they can keep them clean and everything. And that's about it.
Are they gonna be identified as ladies and men, or?
No, one side ladies, one side men.
Because I was recently in Seattle not too long ago, and I went to a restroom in the airport.
Well,
There
you
was
were,
a lot of women in there, and I thought I walked in the wrong restroom. And I walked out right away, and another lady was coming in. He said, no, wait a minute, you're in the right place. This is co-ed, this is for everybody here.
Go ahead.
send me the address.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else?
Agregano?
Mr. Agregano, I understand you have something that you'd like to share with
Yes,
the
sir.
committee?
Good morning. For the record, Alfredo Agredano. For information, sir, I've been working on a project with Memorial School. There are 6 young men that went to World War II but they were at St. Joseph's School. It wasn't Memorial at that time. Those 6 young men didn't make it back. So I went before the LISD school board last month and spoke to them about those young men, and they're gonna have a bronze plaque which they're gonna place in Memorial School dedicated to those 6 young men. Now the LISD board is gonna pay for the plaque, and we're gonna have the unveiling ceremony on the Memorial Day 2025. And what we're gonna do, the president of the LISD school board, Mr. Ramirez, is gonna have a school classroom from Memorial School. They're gonna be looking into these young men to see if they have any relatives here in Laredo, if they have any cousins or uncles or whatever, so we can invite them to the ceremony, the unveiling. So they're gonna have a class at Memorial School working on that to get information on those young men, because we don't have any information on them.
Very commendable, Mr. Gregano. Let me say that Memorial Middle School stands besides their name. During Memorial Day ceremonies, Memorial Middle School puts on one of the best, if not the best,
Yes, sir.
memorial ceremony throughout the city. So it's very, very commendable. Do we have any questions or comments, concerns?
Yes.
Mr. Segovia?
Well, this be held on Memorial Day?
Yes, sir. Well, not Memorial Day, we're gonna try to make it like on a school day, so the kids can be there.
Okay, because Memorial Day, remember, we have all day taken already.
Yes, sir. But we're gonna try to work around it so we can get the kids involved and have them there doing the unveiling of the plaque.
Very good. Any other comments or questions?
Can
Good
you
job.
bring it up when we get closer, sir, so we can announce it again?
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Next item on the agenda, we have communication and announcements by the VA outpatient clinic representative to discuss the CPAP clinic, upcoming whole health classes, and travel assistance. Crystal?
Hi, good morning. My name is Krista Vito. For the record, I am the administrative officer at the clinic. I did put that on the agenda, however, I do have some other items that I wanted to bring up this morning, since I wasn't here last month. So, we do have a travel assistant. He's a new staff member that we have currently in the lobby, and he helps all the veterans with any travel vouchers, or if you have any claims, any travel that has not been paid and that you want to know status, he is available every day, Monday to Friday, in the lobby. You could just go in, and once you walk into your right-hand side, he is stationed there. So he could help you file a claim, submit a claim, check the vouchers, or to see why they didn't pay you and it got rejected. So he is available at the clinic. Any questions on that? Yes.
Is he replacing Reggie?
I'm sorry?
Is he replacing Reggie?
No. He is one of the VA
You guys,
employees,
his name is?
Mr. Juan Alejos.
How far back can veterans go and claim for travel assistance? If they
30
get-
days.
30 days?
Yes.
Any other questions or concerns or comments on this issue? Go ahead, Ms. Cavillo.
The next one, we do have CPAP clinic now here in Laredo. It's every Thursday, Thursday, that's incorrect, so I apologize for that. It's every third Wednesday of the month. We usually, our veterans would travel either to Corpus or to Harlingen to get their CPAP. Now we have it here in Laredo. We have it once a month, but we are working on getting it twice a month. Instead of veterans traveling to Corpus, they'll be able to schedule them here. So if for any reason a veteran does have an appointment and cannot travel, just get with our clerks in the front and they can schedule their appointment here on the next available. We have, yes, any questions on that one? Okay, we have our whole health classes that we're trying to promote and get more veterans to come in. We have our Tai Chi, Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 12:30, and we have our yoga classes from Mondays and Wednesdays from 09 to 09:30. So those are available for any veterans that want to come and, yes, sir.
And who's in charge of that one?
That one is Ms. Christy Alvarez. And I recommend that veterans try it. I know a lot of veterans want to get together and kind of just do something. This is a perfect opportunity to come to those classes and do yoga, Tai Chi together. So recently we had a veteran that was upset because it wasn't put out. So I just want to kind of reiterate this. Every second Thursday of our month, we have a mandatory meeting for our staff. Is training and updates for the staff is from 0 to 9:30. It's every Thursday. We are closed. The clinic is closed in the morning from 8 to 9:30. Nobody will be available because that's the time that we get to use to have a mandatory training to all staff and have our communications of any updates. So just so everybody's aware that we open at 9:30. We have our food drive coming up August 15th, and we have another one December 5th. I did bring some flyers so you guys could take. I also posted it onto the web, but we do have them. Once the December food drive is already done, then I'll go ahead and schedule for the following year. I usually do it every 3 months, quarterly, so I'll schedule throughout the year. We'll have those. But for now, it's August 15th and December 5th. We also have set our date for our Veterans Day event, and that is on November 7th. I don't have the time yet. If any organizations want to participate, set up a booth, set up a table, please get with me or with my secretary, Patty Gonzalez, so that way they could register you. I think last year we had about 26 organizations. We had over 300, 400 people come. So we are expecting to be bigger this year. But please get with my secretary to be able to register to be part of that. We have our legal clinic coming July 16th. We partner up with our legal services. They come there and they help our veterans with any legal issues that they have. And we also have a new team, Dr. Foss. He is our newest provider, the Cypress team. If any patient has a nurse practitioner that would like to see an MD, he is currently taking new patients. So if for whatever reason you're unhappy with your provider, you want a new provider, or you want to change provider because you want an MD versus an MP, that is available. Just come to the front, ask the clerk that you want to do a change of provider. They'll have you fill out the form and you can do that. Again, his name is Dr. Foss and he is our newest provider. That's all I have. Anybody has any questions, concerns? I
have a question, Ms. Gavino. So we have our provider. We won't get switched if we don't want to get switched, right?
No.
It won't, okay.
We cannot, nobody could switch you from teams unless that's what you're requesting.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns? Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Video. Next item on the agenda by committee, by community development staff representative to announce the update on the tiny homes initiative. For the record, please.
For the record, Tina Martinez, Community Development Director. I have a short presentation just to give you an update of our department, Community Development Department, tiny homes projects that we had, I showed to you all about, I want to say a few months ago, maybe a year ago. So the Lafayette Tiny Home Project is something that our department has been working to develop and fund, develop, and basically design for the last couple of months. So we have secured funding with one of our annual allocations of a home investment partnership grant, and now with a new grant of a home American Rescue Plan. So it's Home ARP. So with the combination of these two grants, we're able to now plan and design. So this project came together with the help of our engineering department and of course the staff that I have in my community development department. So right now I'm happy to announce that we're out for bid. So we are currently expecting the review of the plans, and we've seen a lot of interest from our local contractors on this project, so we're really hoping to get a good bid. So the bids are gonna be due July 16 at 4 p.m. They'll be open July 17 at 10:30, and we are hoping to award sometime in August, September. Construction could begin September to October, and it will be a 90-day construction. So with that said, it's gonna be a phased project. We've identified the city lot that was basically 3 lots and a half. So we were able to design, this will be first phase, and if you, so this should give us 9 homes if the bid comes out good, a community center and parking space. The parking lot is gonna be facing, Eagle Pass Avenue, and this empty spot that you see is gonna be, hopefully our phase 2. Once we secure more funding, we'll able to build more homes. Let me give you, so, well, first I wanna talk about the community room. So the community room is a nice size facility that we are building with 2 office spaces. 1 office space for our internal staff to run the operations of that. But the other office space in the assembly room is gonna be where we really wanna work with our local veterans, community, and be able to provide some resources and some services to our homeless veteran population. The grants that we secured do allow us to help, homeless veterans, homeless or at risk of homeless. Those are really 3 criteria that are in great need of in our community. With assessing affordable housing, because we have a lot of different affordable housing models in our city, and this tiny home transitional housing opportunity is one that we've identified with different organizations, with our homeless groups, even with our veterans homeless group that we meet with on a monthly, bi-monthly basis. We've identified that there's a big need for smaller unit homes for veterans to be able, or to our homeless population to be able to transition to a permanent apartment and be able to be self-sufficient. So what we foresee in this community, and with the assistance of this community room and the partnership with different organizations, is the ability to be able to provide these continuing resources to ensure that they're successful. Because transitioning from an unsheltered situation to a sheltered situation is very tasking on an individual, and it requires a lot of resources and a lot of partnerships. So I will also be asking this committee to reach out to us, and let's have that conversation. Let's enter into some MOUs where we can provide the facility, and you all can come and provide some of these resources, being a group session, being a one-on-one session. We just come and provide them some resources, right? Some area to talk and hang out, and we can do that. We can definitely work on an agreement where this facility could be a shared facility. Also to note, we'll have laundry rooms, because the units, we made them small enough to where, they'll have everything in the unit. Right now I'll show a picture of the unit, but the laundry room will be like a community laundry room, because that'll also give them an opportunity to socialize and be able to be part of that, of this community. This is so again, this design was done in-house with the help of our engineering team and also my housing inspector. She was able to put together this nice design. We looked at many models. We looked at different, both, in person and virtually, we saw different models, and we feel that this model is gonna be a great open concept. We call them like studio efficiency size units. It's a 400 square feet size, but it'll give them everything they need, to a small kitchen, to a bedroom, to a living area, and to a bathroom, and so all that privacy. Again, washer and dryer will be in the community room. And that's just a little of the overview. but I just really wanted to come and showcase that we are out, right? We've crossed that hard, sometimes on a project to get it off the ground is, let's get a bid, right? Let's see what the market comes back on this. And we have different avenues that we feel we're gonna make this happen in the next couple of months.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Question,
Mr. Alvarez?
where can we get a hold of you to discuss the MOU?
Yes, of course. So, our offices are on, 1401. 1301 Farragut. I go every day, I just don't know the address, right? 1301 Farragut, we're right here downtown. We're actually in the Metro Transit system. We are, in the building, we're on the third floor, community development. You can contact me, again, Tina Martinez, the director, or Ms. Cenet Contreras. She is the housing manager that will be in charge of this grant and this program. So again, you can make an appointment with myself or with Ms. Cenet Contreras. We left on the outside table, we left some flyers of other programs that our community development department offers, but there's also business cards, and of course in the back you'll see our phone number and our email and our address. So you can come visit us, call us, email us, and let's set something up.
The flyers are outside?
Yes.
Is that,
Yes, sir.
is there gonna be a cost to the veterans or a term limit on how long they can stay there?
Yes, we are still working out the programmatic side of the facility, but we are looking at what's the best. We're still working on our cost analysis. We want to make it affordable and of course with these grants, there is restrictions on the rent, right? So there are going to be rent restrictions that, of course, they're going to be below market, but we also want a model that is going to be affordable for the veteran. And we've talked about the possibility if we have partnerships with different organizations. I know I've already talked to the Housing Authority, the voucher system. We will be able to accept the voucher into these programs. So that will also facilitate, the cost, because again, we need to make sure the operations we can maintain the light on, right? And operate this project in a way that is still cost efficient for the client. So we are looking at rolling one rent payment being light and water included. Because I think that's the first step, right? We'll make them responsible to pay the rent, and we will take care of distributing that light and water. Because the next step, once they are self-sufficient, they will be able to now manage light, water, in most cases, at least light and rent. Now, we are looking at a model where we're hoping it to be a 6-month to a year transition lease, right? So that we can help them. And also, with this grant, we were able to get some supportive services. So we will have someone on site to be able to manage their cases, right? Be able to give that one-on-one and be able to say, okay, let's start looking for an apartment. You're getting ready to now transition to a more permanent situation. So those are all aspects. We've looked at different models that have been successful in neighboring communities such as San Antonio and Corpus and other areas. So we're still trying to see how it's going to work for us. So, but by the time we're open, we'll have all that. And of course, I can come when we have all that programmatic side ready and we're ready to start renting. We will definitely come back and give you all that update.
This is a project that different veterans service organizations, individual veterans, this committee has been talking about and trying to get a solution to this problem that we have here. And finally, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, like the saying goes. I know that you said you had certain dates for letting out the construction. Do you have a date on the estimated completion time?
Yes, so if all goes to plan, the bids come in, hopefully by July 17, and if we have good bids, meaning it's in line with my funding, I would really push to get it awarded by council, because I'll still have to take it to the city council for approval around the August, maybe the late August meeting, September. Then from there, once I get the award, we just work on contracts, and the construction time will be 90 days. So, you know, if all goes as planned, and I'm able to execute a contract by October, you're talking about beginning of the year, we'll,
By the end of the year.
Mhm.
Big nice Christmas present.
Yes, and we'll definitely come back because we will want to engage you all, so you all can spread the word. We can start the waiting list for homeless veterans. The thing with homeless veterans, we don't want to put them on a waiting list right now because there are other resources that we have available. So of course, at any time, if you all have or know of someone that is in need of housing, they can reach out to our office. I have an outreach person that can go and look at them, talk to them. And there's other resources right now there, and there's other mechanisms to try to help them and assist them. I would hate to just put them on a waiting list for too long, right? But as soon as we have them open, I'm sure we're gonna get them, you know, filled within, you know.
So as soon as you are ready to start accepting applications, we appreciate you coming out here and letting us know so we can pass it on to our veterans and what the qualifications are to be able to be eligible for this service. So we appreciate all the hard work you've done. It's been a long road, a very, very long road. But seems like it's gonna get done here hopefully by the end of the year.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your work. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question for
Yes,
the
Crystal.
record. Crystal, for the tiny homes, I just asked, I was like, if it was for veterans, since it's only 9, it's open for all of the Laredo, right? If veterans organizations come in to support, is there a way that we could say maybe 2 or 3 would be just for veterans, because we have a lot of the veterans. I would hate for a lot of the organizations that are veteran-driven and then not have the opportunity for veterans to.
So it has to have a homeless component, so it has to be a homeless veteran, an at-risk of homeless veteran. So I encourage, we also have I think right now, quarterly meeting where we talk about homeless veterans on a case-by-case. Our list is not that big right now. We've identified most of our veterans that are out there that are homeless. So they won't be strictly for veterans, but it will have that veteran homeless component. It has to be a homeless qualifying population. Yes.
Thank you very much.
So there is a possibility that I could move in someone else that is not, just because I don't want to have them vacant.
Mr. Alvarez?
That was my question. I think you answered it. Is it exclusively for veterans? You said no.
No,
it's not.
no, it's not.
So
It has that homeless component to it, and veterans is one of the criteria that we want to really focus on, because we know. But our list, our veterans homeless list is not that big right now. We do try to work with them and get them housed really quickly. So I would hate to have units that are empty. So we just kind of broaden it with the use of 2 grants that we received. We can broaden it up to homeless in general, but of course the veterans would always have a priority.
Well, that, the goal that this committee and veteran service organizations was to provide for veterans. I understand that the homeless situation in general, but we do have even now, where we have people that come from out of town, out of the county, from other cities, to panhandle here and things like that. So that is an issue that obviously you're gonna have to encounter, or hopefully you won't encounter, but have to address sooner or later, where we might have some people come in from other places of the country to apply for this service, and some of our veterans will be left out because of that. And that's a concern to me as a veteran, I'm sure it's a concern to other veterans in this room. So that is something that we would like to have been exclusive veterans, but we understand the homeless situation. I would imagine that you're gonna be vetting them very, very closely.
Yes, most of our programs do have a residency requirement, meaning like we have like a down payment assistance program. We have other programs in our community where we ask for at least a 6 months residency. So if you can prove that you were a member of our community, that you were working here, living here, you are now part of our community, right? So there is mechanisms that we can definitely look into to ensure that our community gets the first pick. Of course, we're constantly working with our other homeless providers, shelters and all, to ensure that, that homeless is, something that we can all tackle and look through. And of course, that's always a concern. We've done multiple studies, and the majority of our community homeless unsheltered population is our community members.
How many homeless individuals have you identified so far here in our
So-
city?
So we do a yearly count. It's called a point in time count that is required by the most of our federal grants that we do. We participate with all our nonprofits that touch the homeless and unsheltered population in one form or other. And we've definitely, on a yearly basis, we've established anywhere from 150 to 200 people that are unsheltered. That's living in a shelter, but that's not permanent housing. So either living in the shelter or living on the streets.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Concerns? Nothing? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is by a TMDS and FR representative to discuss all the monies, hours, mileage, and community reports by VFW Post 9194 has accomplished by the end of the fiscal year. Also to discuss veterans who are city employees to have an additional 6 to 8 hours of sick leave to go to their VA claims appointments. Who's gonna take this?
Mr. Guerra.
Good afternoon, members of the committee.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jesus Rivas. I'm a member of the VFW Chapter 9194 here in Laredo. Making a report here on what we talked about here. 9194 has, over this past, we just closed the fiscal year. We've had about 69 projects that we've worked on in this last year. Our members are very active in the community. We currently have a total of 86 members in our chapter. Of those 86 members, we've managed to collect a total of a total of 3,069 hours of working in the community. So just with these 86 members, we're a very active chapter in the community, from projects to helping even non-veteran. It doesn't have to be veteran specific that we offer assistance to. We helped out the boxer, La Traviesa Lozano, right? Jennifer Lozano, who's representing Laredo at the Olympics. We helped her with the fundraising event. We're partnering up right now, current projects with the Boy Scouts to help them. They're in need of some help, so we partnered up with them last month. Total mileage is 7,496 miles. I'll repeat the hours, 3,069 hours. Mileage value in money, it's $1,049. The total hours worked, if you were to put a value on that, is $78,044. Money used by our chapter, we use $27,485. And total hours, mileage, and money spent total, everything added up is $106,579. Now, where's my?
So, Mr. Rivas, so
Yes,
you
sir.
put back into the community monetarily wise, on or about $100,000 in one fiscal year, more or less?
In about one fiscal year, yes, we managed to put
That's
over
impressive.
$100,000 into the community.
Wow.
That with just a small amount of members that we have, and we're still growing. We're still growing, essentially. But essentially the so what factor of this, you know, why we're coming here. We do need more help, right? We're outreaching a lot of everybody that's talked so far. I mean, I think we're fighting the same fight from different avenues. We all need that same basic support. Currently, I know that we're looking for a permanent home. We've been operating out of borrowed space, essentially, and we've been able to accomplish this in the past year. We're looking for assistance. We're going to be applying for a couple of. We're currently, what do you call it? We're currently looking at several buildings, several options for us to find a permanent home. So we're going to be submitting one of those. We're going to be putting an offer for one of those buildings here soon, and we'll be looking for you guys to help us out in that aspect. What else? That's for later. I know one of the other things that the VFW is offering as far as services right now, we're putting together a class. I know it's a resilience class that we'd want to offer to all veterans in the community, or it's open to the public essentially, but the target is veterans. I don't know what you guys know about resiliency. So essentially, the quick spiel here, right? A lot of us got out before the military got real serious about its service members' mental health. And well, essentially, resiliency is, if I had to describe it, it's a way to bounce back from adversity, failure, trials. I would describe it like a tennis ball. If I were to take a tennis ball and throw it as hard as I could against the wall, when it impacts that wall, that stress that I applied to it is going to change its shape. It's going to alter it, but ultimately that ball will bounce back to its original shape, renewed sense of energy and a renewed sense of direction. Same concept. If I were to throw an egg against the wall and apply the same amount of stress, same amount of pressure, under that same amount of stress, that egg would just crack. So the goal of resiliency is to be able to bounce back from our trials, our tribulations, adversities, failures, be able to be resilient just like that tennis ball and not crack under pressure like an egg. We offer a basic set of skills that we try to give veterans or anybody who would like to attend the class to be able to manage their own stressful situations is what the class is about. We got a flyer that we can post that later, I suppose. But other things we have is a leave. Oh, so as far as my background with resiliency, I'm still a member of the military. I just hit 20 years. I've been teaching resiliency since the military rolled it out in 2015, right? But the military didn't create resiliency. Right? Whatever age we're at, whatever age you're at, you've managed to overcome situations in your life. So it's nothing new. Maybe identifying certain skills and honing them down, and using them more efficiently. But I've been teaching in the military since 2016, somewhere around there, when I was a drill sergeant on the trail, teaching the new recruits on stress management. A lot of us have seen the adverse effects of stress from incapacitation, anxiety attacks, full mental breakdowns, suicide, you name it. I know a lot of military members have been exposed to a lot of that throughout time. So I'm also a U.S. Border Patrol agent. U.S. Customs and Border Protection recently started trying to implement their resiliency program as well, and brought me on as a subject matter expert. I was teaching it here in Laredo for a year and a half straight. I was able to teach all of 2,000 plus Border Patrol employees. OFO is coming on board as well. I'm helping them stand up their program right now. They have 1,200 employees that would teach. So we have a lot of. I've been very versed in teaching and passing on these resiliency skills So I think it's be very useful for veterans to take on these classes. Next, we're going to talk about leave. Or is there any questions on resiliency or the VFW or who we are?
Any questions, comments?
Question?
Mr. Alvarez?
Will you be partnering with the tiny homes people,
I
with
would-
those veterans?
Well, we at the VFW wish to partner with anybody and anybody who wishes to partner with us. I know one of the issues that's come up several times with, particularly around the holidays, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, these big, veteran-specific holidays, where all these organizations have a whole bunch of things going on, coordinating with them. So we don't necessarily want to make more events. We want to help with those events. We want to be a force multiplier. We want to integrate with all of it, everyone in the community. We're not specific to any particular, but yes, to answer your question, yes, we would love to partner with your organization or whatever project you got going on. We're just coordination is where the issue seems to lie, and I don't know how to rectify that. But we try it as best we can, from individual to individual, and that's how we go about it. But either way, whatever event, we show up in numbers, and always try to have representatives there.
Sir, any other questions?
I have a
Marshall?
question. May I?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rivas, you said the class, the date, do you have a date already?
Yes, August 3rd
August 3rd? A location?
is 410 Crossroads Avenue.
August 3rd?
It'll be, the class is an all-day class. It's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
8 to
It's on
3.
Saturday,
You said August 3rd?
August 3rd, correct.
410 Crossroad? Right?
Yes, RSVP, the space is limited, so our RSVP, I'm gonna put a flyer out with, that information, but you can take down my number if you want.
Yes, sir.
Area code's 830-352-3178. We have seating that venue offers a seating of about 30 people. Depending on how it goes, I'd love to give it again, but it should be, pretty good. Everybody I've taught is very receptive to the information. Very eye-opening as well.
Is this a LFD building we were at that other day?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
LNF,
LNF, yes.
It's a furniture place.
Laredo Furniture,
Yeah. Sorry.
also.
Any other questions? On
The
this particular
next
area?
item we have is the leave that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. Mr. Quijano?
Yes, we have some forms for you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chairman, Ricardo Quijano for the record. Fellow comrade, Rivas is passing out some information. It's called Veterans Leave. In the state of Texas, it's under Texas Government Code 661.921. It's veteran leave. One of the reasons that our military is so great is that we train, we fight. We train, we fight. And we're gonna give, when we're training, we're giving it all. At the end, we're gonna have problems with our knees, ankles, back. We go overseas, we come back with certain issues. So, what Veterans Leave is with the state of Texas is, and hopefully it's in a pilot program here in Laredo could adopt it, in the state of Texas, you get 120 hours of medical leave, sick leave, where you're not gonna utilize your sick leave, your vacation, your compensation pay. And it's only 4 VA appointments. Like myself, if I go, we go twice a year to get blood work, we go twice a year to get our physical. That averages more or less like 8 hours. Hopefully that could help alleviate where an employee is like, well, it's only 2 hours, you know what, let me cancel it. It's to do a better quality of life for veterans in our community. Hopefully the city can follow and adopt it, and then the county, school districts, and so forth, other private corporations. So we're only asking for 6 to 8 hours. That is it for right now. And it's to go to the VA clinic. Now, we know once we're done with the VA clinic, we get completed, that we completed the appointment. Or you could go to the My Healthy eVet and you get a printout and it'll say completed or cancel. You turn that to HR and they'll give you your 2 hours of paid veteran leave. So that's what we're asking for the city to adopt, veteran leave, 8 hours of veteran leave for veterans who work for the city of Laredo. All right. Mr. Jimenez, I already emailed you.
Yes, you did.
I sent you this so you can pass it on to the officials. And I give you a copy of what it is and the hours, the days, 15 days, up to 15 days, 120 hours of veteran leave for VA appointments at the VA clinic or anyone. If you get a voucher from the VA, you could go to those two, whether it's physical or mental. It's a win-win situation. And we're hoping the city could adopt it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Quijano, is this 6 to 8 hours a year or?
Fiscal year, per fiscal year.
You know, one of the questions that I have, and not necessarily a question, but just for all of us information, this is an item that the city council is gonna have to take action.
Yes.
And I just heard you speak to the marshal about conveying this message to the city council.
Yes.
But it would carry issues or items like this, in my experience, and I could be wrong, need to check it out, Marshall. It would carry more weight if we put an item like this as an item for action, so that the whole committee can vote on it, and that way, because right now, it's not gonna, the whole committee, it's not written, so we can ask a motion for it, according to the agenda. If we put it as an item that needs to be action required, then we put it as a motion to be voted on by the whole committee, and that would carry more weight to the city council that the whole committee is in favor of this particular item. And it's just for future,
Yes, sir, we could do that.
because it does make a difference in the protocols of the rules of orders where the city council operates under.
We can bring it back next month for a vote on it.
I think it would carry a lot more weight, because that way we officially, the whole committee approved this particular, because I think it's a great item. And not that it won't carry any weight this way, but it's gonna it's gonna carry the weight of 13 or how many, 15
Yes, sir.
veteran service organizations behind it. Once we make a motion and it's approved and passed by the committee.
Yes, sir. And it's
And
just
it's
for,
just a point of.
no, it's
Point of
it's
order,
wonderful,
sir.
yeah. We could bring it up next month
That's an action.
as an action.
Yes.
Vote on it and it will go straight to city council and hopefully, it's,
And unfortunately, that's the rules that we work under.
yes, sir. All right.
Okay.
Any other
Anything else?
questions?
Any other questions, concerns? Thank you so much, and like I've said before, your post, obviously has been very active, for some time now. And if not the most active, if not one of the most active, posts, and I have congratulated you and your post in general about the work that you've done to help the quality of life of our veterans and our community in general. So thank you so much for your work.
Yep, we got members here, Milan, Rivas. We're growing and
Thank you very much.
we're not done. We're still doing it.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
3?
You stay.
Item number 4, what's up, we're up next on 4 as well.
Mr. Quijano, just a question. May I ask, Chair? I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
The, cap and gowns, that was through you guys too, right? How did
Yes.
what was the outcome?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was between the VFW, post 91, 94, and Martin High School class of 93. We gathered like 3,500, more or less, 305, was it?
Yeah.
$3,500 for Martin High School so they could buy their cap and gowns for students graduating.
The members were told and made aware that Martin High School had this issue, that had seniors that couldn't buy their cap and gowns, and, it broke all of our hearts, of course. But from one month to the next, we had already raised most of those funds. And we finally were able to donate them officially to Martin High School. But that was a quick fundraiser we did.
Great job.
It was a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next and last item on the agenda by veterans of the Foreign Wars representative to discuss getting representation in Washington for the city of Laredo to have a representative from the veterans community to represent veterans issues. Mr. Quijano, you're gonna take this one?
Oh, it's gonna be Mr. Rivas.
Yes.
Rovira.
So, we talked about, the yearly trip that Laredo hosts
Correct.
to DC. Being able to incorporate a veteran from the community or somebody who represents, an organization that meets up and has minutes like this one, all right? It doesn't have to be the VFW specifically, but somebody who can advocate and, for veteran-specific organizations in the community. I know we have 14, we have a list of 14 organizations that are seeking funding for, equipment special equipment for veterans. We're talking about lodging assistance, mortgage help, homeless veteran supports, home repair, home weatherization, home modification, clinical counseling, substance abuse treatment, mental health problems, financial assistance. Every page is an organization that is seeking funds to help out the community of Laredo. I don't know how funds are funneled towards or solicited from DC for these veteran organizations.
It's an interesting item, that certainly has a lot of bone and a lot of meat in that bone that, needs to be addressed. Because there is a yearly trek to DC, and I've never been a member of the city council, but I was accompanying one of the trips some time back, and it's very interesting on how much work can be done in DC,
Yes.
that is getting done by these trips. And certainly a representative of the veterans community would be helpful.
Somebody
To address
with
specific issues for veterans.
yes, with an organization essentially that they somebody that has that can represent an organization and not necessarily can be held accountable.
It makes a lot of sense. So that is something that, the city council really needs to be advised and see if they can add a representative of the veterans community to an entourage that goes to DC. I think it's every February or something like that. March.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I think we need to do the same thing we were about item 3.
Yes, I think so too.
Okay.
Because it is an important item, and, like I said, we do have, what is it now? I forget, 15 VSOs that we have here?
14.
Or something like that. So it carries a lot more weight when we put it that way. Because it's an item that is gonna incur, expenses, and so it's something that the city council, I think, needs to hear about it.
Actually, I believe maybe 2 people would be better than just one.
That
I
could
would
be.
agree. I would
Yeah,
agree.
yes.
Representation period
Yes.
would be ideal.
So maybe we can bring it back, we make a motion to
Yes,
bring
sir.
it back next
Make it
month.
actionable next
with
month.
Yeah.
Two,
So as far as going for, would we go into a selection process or a nomination process or?
Yeah, something, once it's approved by the city council, if it's approved, then with this committee can make some recommendations, or however the city council wants. Remember that we're an extension of the city council.
Right.
And so we operate under their rules. So whatever the mayor and the city council would like to do, then this committee, obviously, because we are the official representation to the city council as for the Veterans Affairs, I believe that the recommendations need to come from this committee.
I think one of them should be a council member though.
There
There has
is
to be
also
probably a council member should be a
Councilmember
representative.
Tyler King.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna represent veterans' issues, I believe that we need to have veterans to be part of this too, or whatever
King is
amount of,
military.
they have to be veterans. In order to understand, because let's face it, if you haven't been in the military, you don't really understand what we went through.
I agree with your plan of action. Next month, we'll put it into, once it gets in, then we'll talk about who, how, and where.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you so much again. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Sir, before we put it on the agenda, should we decide how many people before we put it on the?
Well, yeah, we can do that right now.
Okay.
So what are the ideas on any committee member? I mean, please let us know. What do you think?
Can we hold up on that and then just bring it back with,
Okay.
VFW is the one bringing it up, let them work the problem,
Okay,
fix the issues, that, whatever, and then we bring it up
and decide then.
and decide then.
That sounds like a good one also.
We gotta take it back to our members.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's,
We gotta take, and our members are the ones that are gonna vote yes, yay, nay. Let's do it, let's go forward. And once the members decide, they take a vote, we bring it back and decide one or two
Or more.
that's,
or more.
yeah. And that's kind of what works good with the VFW. I've been to their meeting.
Yes.
And they actually do open it up for the membership to vote on stuff, so I think that would be great to take it back, bring it, let them bring us what their membership
Yes,
suggested.
So we'll bring those two items, next month.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Any other questions? Thank you so much again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time.
And as I normally do at the end of the meeting, if anybody has anything that they want to discuss for the betterment of the quality of life of our veterans, this is the time to do it. Mr. Gregano?
Yes, sir. Alfredo Arano for the record. On this item that they wanna have an additional 6 to 8 hours for sick leave for the veterans, I think it should be unlimited. Cause you go to the VA and then they're gonna send you to San Antonio, they're gonna send you to Corpus, they're gonna send you to, Harlingen. You're gonna use all your sick leave.
And you bring a very good point, Mr. Rivas.
You know, cause you always go.
It's a very good point, permit me, it's a very good point, but you being a member of the city council at one time, there's certain regulations that they have to abide by, and I think that whatever that calls, and they quoted the government code here, but it is a very valid point that you're bringing up. Mr. Quijano, Mr. Rivas,
He's coming, sir.
okay. The point was brought up
Question.
about, on the item that you have for 6 to 8 hours, that maybe you would like to research it a little bit more to be able to add more hours, because if they have to go out of town, they're gonna need more hours. And I was just making the comment that there are certain regulations that the city council, all city councils go by, is the Texas Government Code, and you quoted that. So if it's possible, then I think it should be mentioned that, they might need more than 6 to 8 hours. But it's your item, and, but it was brought up by Mr. Oregano, and I believe that it's a valid point.
Of course, council's gonna dictate how many hours, if they get 8, if they wanna give the whole 120, by all means, where it's not gonna deduct any sick, vacation,
But
contact.
we're saying this for how you're gonna word your item for next month.
Language.
Language,
Yeah.
I'll try to use the Texas code, which I just referenced, I gave y'all a copy.
Yes.
I'll try to kind of like mirror it, and maybe I'll get with legal, with City of Laredo Legal, and see if they can help me out, to word it also at the same time.
Sir.
Yes,
But it's, how many hours, how many hours are you having? 16 hours, 24 hours?
I just think if we ask too much, sir, I
Yeah,
believe
yes,
there's
that's- yeah.
there's
That was my, it's like, it can't be,
it can be too demanding, because there's a better chance of getting shot down.
That's why it needs to be within the Texas Government Code. Because if it's out of the government code, it's not gonna pass.
At the end of the day, I think it's just a suggestion.
Yes.
Do your research. If you bring back 8 hours, 8 hours. If you bring back 10. If you bring back 4. I mean, anything is better than 0 hours.
exactly.
And that's what we want to get approved, that's why we do, I work for the county, he works for the city, we get our leave days and all that, and you work for the state, so, the state does 120 hours, that's great for them, the city and the county at this moment in time do 0, so if they would do 4 hours, that'd be awesome. Obviously, if they do 8, 120 would be way better, but that's where I think you would have to lobby with the city council members and the commissioners court members and kind of.
Yeah, and remember, I know that the county does it, I'm sure the city does, where they have a pool for unused sick leave hours, or annual leave hours also, where they have a pool where they can assign it to other. Transfer to some other people or employees that might need it. So there's a lot of ways that you can increase that number. But it was just a suggestion that was brought up, and before you left, we wanted to make sure that you were aware of what we were discussing here. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn. It
I'll
is
second.
July the 9th, 2024, and it is, what time? 12:34.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. All those in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.